Yo, welcome back to Gridiron Podcast. I'm your host, JB. As always, joining me, Devontae Forever. What's good, bro?
What up, Jay? What up with you? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Yo, week one was kind of crazy, man. It was it was good, don't get me wrong, but it was kind of crazy. But before we even get into that, yo, shout out to all y'all who love and support. We truly appreciate it. We're gonna get into a lot of week one action, what happened. Also, then we're gonna jump into what to look forward to as week two approaches Thursday night. So, with that said, yo, we're gonna kick this off with you, Devontae. What's your thoughts on week one as the overall?
Well, as an overall, my opinion changed drastically because I was gonna say it was really pretty much a clean, not too bad injury week, but then we got two big losses to the Ravens and the Jets, and my Steelers. So we have three big ass injuries that like hit hard. It's gonna be a lot of adjustments. But I think the thing about week one was that it's good to see football back, and it's really fun to see everybody jump out the window.
Absolutely. Yo, some of the people who are panicking, some of the people who are
Bruh.
overhyped, it's crazy. Like every year we always say week one, everybody's kind of wilding out. Some people think their team's going to go straight to the bowl. Some teams think they're going to tank. And it's like the opposite usually happens. But I feel like this year it was like a jam-packed week one. It was crazy. There's some stuff that happened. And we're going to get into it all, man. So you know what? Let's not waste any time. Let's not bury the lead. Let's kick this off. Actually, we're going to start this off with the Thursday night game. Obviously, Kansas City, the defending champs, banner night. Detroit rolled in there and they beat them in a close one, 21-20. Obviously, Travis Kelce was not there, as wasn't Chris Jones, who actually officially ended his holdout today.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, it was a good game, man. Like it was a good game. Sloppy, of course. It's the literal first game of the year. Mahomes, I thought he played all right. I thought Jared Goff played all right. I expect better from both, to be completely honest. But yeah, man, Detroit got some talent. We both picked them to win the NFC North. I'm sticking to it, although I will say I liked what I saw from the Packers, and we'll get into that later in the show, of course. But what's your thoughts on this game and the takeaways? Was it just because Kelce was not there, Chris Jones, or the Lions real? What's your thoughts on this game?
Yes, it definitely played a part that Travis Kelce wasn't there. Obviously, like the receivers weren't doing anything. Like Kadarius Toney played like garbage. He kind of moved a little soft for me, if you really ask me. Like, how you don't like you gonna quit your Twitter, you're gonna drop your Twitter and all that because everybody's roasting you. And then when the Giants get blown out 40-0, now you want to activate and talk crap. No, bro, that's weak. That sounds like weak to me. That sounds a very weak move to me. But anyway, this game is more about the Lions. I think the Lions showed that like they have ballers on this team. Like they have showed true ballers on this team. Now, the thing about the Lions to me that drove me crazy, that they almost blew the game, is how they split their carries between their two running backs. It's a little outrageous to me, but it's the first week. But like I'm not somebody where we're gonna go easy in the week one. No, we're going all guns. You're playing the defending champions. If it's me, I'm going guns blazing. I'm throwing everybody out there. The best players out there. We ain't splitting reps. We ain't doing none of that because we just did that in preseason. We ain't doing none of that. But that's just my philosophy. But I think the Lions played good. Obviously, they're gonna have that. Obviously, I definitely saw some holes that they have, and obviously we've seen Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes played well. It's just he can't catch the ball too. He can't throw the ball and catch the ball at the same time. Now, the biggest important thing is about this game, and the last thing I'll say about this game is what you got to see is how much Chris Jones is important. And there's a reason why they got that deal done as fast as possible.
Absolutely.
Because I guarantee you, if they win that game, they don't pay Chris Jones this quickly.
Absolutely. Shout out to Bree Jackson checking out the show. Niner gang is in the house. Shout out to Mike Green, who said the Lions are garbage. They got lucky.
Oh, wow.
Mike Green, I'm pretty sure Mike Green a Packers fan. So
Okay.
I get the little hate. I get the hate, but the Lions ain't trash, man. The Lions are here, man. I think that division comes down to Green Bay and Detroit. I picked Detroit only because Jordan Love, we don't know what we had. He looked very good week one. Some say Chicago's defense is not good, so we would expect Jared Goff to carve him up as well when they play them, as well as Kirk Cousins. But at the same time, I think Detroit is pretty good. I like what they're doing with the run game. It's not going to be Swift, you know what I mean, and Williams yet. So like I know people were saying why did they do it? Contract reasons, of course, right? At the same time, I like Aiden Hutchinson, man. Aiden Hutchinson. And next week, we're going to start to incorporate some film. I've been watching the all 22. To be honest, a lot of times that's how I prefer to watch the game. I'll watch them in real time, but like that all 22, that's where I really watch the game. I spend hours watching that. Aiden Hutchinson is a monster, man. Like, yo, the mood, like the way he rushes the passer, you know what I mean? And he's not quite that Nick Bosa, TJ Watt level yet. But he's on that level right underneath Crosby. I can go everybody else in the league basically because Bosa and Watt is probably top, but everybody else, I'm not sure if I put Crosby over Hutchinson. I'm not sure if I take Myles Garrett or anybody else over Hutchinson. Mm-hmm. I know he's young, so he still got stuff to learn, but that dude's a monster, man. As for Patrick Mahomes, look. 226 yards, you know, that's low for Mahomes, right? The one pick, obviously, off of Tony's hands. Kadarius Toney, man, talking about a player who's up and down, right? 1 second, he's the man, so he's popping crap, and then he has a terrible game, deletes his Twitter, pops back on Instagram to pop crap at the Giants. To me, that's kind of corny, but at the same time, it is what it is. I think he's corny for that.
It's soft.
Mike Green also said, Jordan Love going to surprise a lot of people. I like what I saw. I will say that. I like what I saw. All right. We got a packed show today, so we're going to move ahead. Let's get to the game that kind of really screwed up all of our expectations for the year. The New York Jets defeated the Buffalo Bills 22-16 after a walk-off punt return by the rookie Gibson, who, I mean, we all saw the clip by now, at least if you don't watch the game. Monday Night Football, Aaron Rodgers, torn Achilles, 4 plays into his career with the Jets. So we're going to, like, talking about feeling bad for a guy, feeling bad for a franchise, feeling bad for the fans of a franchise, right? That was just insane, man. Josh Allen, obviously, 3 interceptions, a costly fumble in the fourth quarter. Let me ask you this, man. Was this a good Jets win overcoming, you know what I mean, all of the adversity that they would have had to, or is this a bad Bills loss, man? Because they did have a lead at halftime.
They had the lead, but it wasn't a big lead at all. And the reason why it wasn't a big lead like it should be was because the Jets defense is insanely talented. Like it's really good. So that being said, it's a good Jets win. Why? Because we all thought, if you thought like everybody else did, the moment Aaron Rodgers moment Aaron Rodgers got hurt, I changed the channel immediately. I went straight back to watching Raw like I was doing before. I went straight back. I said, "Oh, we ain't got nothing to watch now." And then I happened to check that the game was on when it was only 13-3. I was like, "What? 13-3? Nah, I got to turn back now." Because I was like, "What you mean it's 13-3? Those supposed to be the Buffalo Bills." So I watched the game. I thought Quentin Williams put in work. DJ Reed. Sauce was getting kind of cooked. It was interesting. Stephon Diggs was letting them have it. And but they clamped down in the big moments. And Zach Wilson let it drive. I can't believe I'm saying this, but he actually did. He actually showed up a little bit. The catch by Garrett Wilson is probably one of the best catches for sure. Going to be catch of the year. Going to be a contender for catch of the year. So like I think the Jets did just what they needed to win the game. And the one thing about the Jets, the reason why people put them in the Super Bowl wasn't because of Aaron Rodgers. People were putting them in the Super Bowl because of the running game. And I'm glad people are finally getting to see what Breece Hall is nasty. Like, as somebody who can see, like, I've seen Breece Hall play in person. Breece Hall is disgusting. Breece Hall is disgusting. The Jets offensive line run block schemes are disgusting. And Robert Saleh is a good coach for that reason. So I think this is a good Jets win. It is it's kind of a both question. Is it a bad Bills loss? Yes, because Josh Allen played so bad. But it's about time we finally put some blame on Josh Allen because everybody just blames everything else besides Josh Allen. So I'm just like, it's about time y'all see he got flaws in his game just like everybody else.
Man, I'm just gonna say, if I had to pick one, I'm going bad Bills loss, man. And by bad Bills loss, I'm really talking about Josh Allen. You know what I mean? Because I thought the defense played well. Milano is still a monster. You know what I mean? He's all over the field, relentless. Had a few big hits. Obviously had the INT thrown by Zach Wilson. I thought Cook played well. Dalvin's younger brother. I thought he ran the ball well. I just don't think they ran the ball enough. I thought, the defense played as well as they could. You know what I mean? Obviously. But Josh Allen, man, he's supposed to be that guy. You know what I mean? He's supposed to be right under Patrick Mahomes, competing with Joe Burrow. And it's like, when are we going to start to have that conversation that it's like, I said this last year. Josh Allen doesn't read defenses. He literally tries to throw the ball through defenses. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. As if like his arm is that strong, he could throw the ball through physical people. And that's something that's starting to really, really annoy me about him, right? We saw Patrick Mahomes, like sometimes we get on him for the sidearm, the behind the back, all types of stuff, like throwing it with his left hand. Mm-hmm. But the one thing we can say is he's accurate, right? He doesn't always put the ball in harm's way. Josh Allen just be throwing the ball double coverage, triple coverage, quadruple coverage. You know what I mean? He's just throwing the ball as if it's punts. And then the last interception, he literally just throws it right to the defender. The defender read it the whole way, literally made his break, and literally he caught the ball, slipped and fell, and then rolled out of bounds. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And the play was a corner to the sideline intended for Gabe Davis. It's absolutely insane. And then the fumble. He's supposed to be a running quarterback. He's big, strong. He can run over linebackers, right? The secondary don't want to see him. He fumbles the ball in a costly situation. Only to get the ball back, drive down, hit Stephon Diggs, get the game-tying field goal like a chip shot. It literally bounces off the upright, lucked out. I'm thinking the Bills are going to steal the game. After a horrible night, they're going to steal the game, right? First possession, they get the ball, win the coin toss, get the ball, go 3 out. I don't want to say I'm done with Josh Allen. I think that's too strong, right? I'm not going to say I'm done with him like he's trash. But at the same time, I agree. It's time to have that conversation about Josh Allen. Because let's be fair. If that was Dak Prescott that did that, we killing him. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr, Tannehill, who had a horrible day against the Saints. We kill those guys for that. But Josh Allen somehow always flies under that radar. You know what I mean?
Because he plays for the Buffalo Bills.
I don't know what it is, but all I know is Josh Allen played horrible. As for Aaron Rodgers, heartbreaking, man. Like I know a lot of Jets fans. I feel for them, man, because I had the Jets making at the very minimum a deep playoff run because I know the defense is nice. Quentin Williams is a monster. Defensive Player of the Year alert status. He's a monster. You know what I mean? The quarterback, Zach Wilson, came in. Like Levante said, he's like, Zach Wilson is dirt. Jets won't win 5 games, which with Zach Wilson. Look, the Jets got a defense. Breece Hall, like you said, is a monster. They can run the rock. So they should be okay. Problem is, they don't trust Zach Wilson to throw the ball.
Nope.
So that's, I mean, what do you do? If you can't throw the ball in this modern NFL, you can't win. What do? Do they go out and look in free agency? Do they trade for somebody's backup, a Cooper Rush, a Jarrett Stidham, somebody's backup? Or do they just rock it out with Zach Wilson now that they don't have to give that first-round pick to Green Bay because Rodgers had to play 70% of the season, so now they have to send the second-round pick instead of a first-round pick. You see what I'm saying? Do they now draft the backup in case Rodgers can't go? He's the new – who knows? But they got the makings of a really good football team, and it just sucks to see this kind of fall by the wayside because they have to go from Aaron Rodgers to Zach Wilson. Mike Green says, get Brady out of retirement. Part of the problem with Brady coming out of retirement, and I'm sorry to say, Jets fans, is Tom Brady is a minority. Well, he's a partial owner. He's a partial owner of the Las Vegas Raiders. He would have to give that up because you can't do both. So that's the only problem with that. But I will say it's Tom Brady, and they always make exceptions for him. So maybe they'll be able to make it work. But the Jets got to do something because this is too good of a team to not make the playoffs.
Agreed.
Absolutely. So my Green also said it was a setup so Green Bay does and get their picks. They offered him a paid year off. Nah, man, he tore his Achilles, bro. That's
a wrap. That's a wrap.
I feel for him. I absolutely feel for him. All right, let's get to this next thing we're talking about. This one is near and dear to Devontae's hearts. San Francisco 49ers defeated the Steelers 30-7. Purdy only had 10 incompletions in the entire game. 2 touchdowns, no picks. McCaffrey ran wild. Pickett, 31 out of 46 attempts. 232, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. Devontae, I'm going to defer to you on this because you are the resident Steelers expert / fan. But what happened?
And I got all the, and like, I watched the All 22 this morning. I didn't even do work at my job because I was watching the All 22 this morning. I've been patiently waiting for this All 22. I needed to see what happened. I look at what happened. First off, the problem is, so everybody talks about my offensive coordinator, right? Because in most recent showings, he's been absolute garbage. You look at the preseason, we look at a completely different team. We had balance.
Right.
We were smoking everybody in preseason. We had balance. And I'm not talking about, yes, I know it's preseason. I'm not talking about personnel alone. I'm talking about play calling. That was the best 5 weeks I've ever seen him call anything. Just to come out today, we ran the ball 9 times in the game. I don't care what defense you're playing. How do you expect any type of success? You run the ball 9 times.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're playing the 85 Bears. 9 times? We got 46 attempts throwing the ball for an offense who hasn't been nearly successful throwing the football. Make it make sense. Offensively, make it make sense. So then to where on the second play of the game, we got a 6-yard, nice little comeback route to George Pickens. He barely had targets. He only had 3 receptions. Start right there. The second play runs a jet sweep. I don't know what it is in this man in jet sweeps, but Lord Jesus, you need to. First off, you ran a jet sweep to Nick Bosa's side. Let's just start right there.
Right.
Yeah, that's gonna work, guys. That's gonna work. Like offensively, it was a struggle. Watching Kenny Pickett, just like you could tell sometimes there were people open and he just was not hitting them. Right. You could tell he clearly was off. All game he was off. And honestly, it was one of the worst games I've seen him play. It was the worst game I've seen him play for by far. But most importantly, I was very disappointed. And we worked so hard to provide balance offensively. They just threw the entire game plan out the window because they panicked when the Niners scored a touchdown. Scored 2 touchdowns in a row. And that pissed me off. And like that pissed me off humongously. Defense. Oh, sweet Jesus. Defense. First off, with Cam Hayward being hurt, I don't even want to it's going to be an ugly night. It's going to be rough. It's going to be very rough for the next. Like, Cam Hayward is, I'll argue with your mother. Cam Hayward is one of the best defensive tackles in this league. And if you think about it, he's at least top 3. For the last 5 years, he's been top 3 with Aaron Donald and them boys. Been top 3. Easy. So him being out 6 to 7 weeks is going to hurt. Just as bad, pretty much maybe just as bad as TJ Watt hurt. When I told you all last year we was gonna be garbage until TJ Watt came back.
Yeah, you did say that.
And I was on the spot right. Because that's how much we depend on TJ Watt. And it's kind of the same thing on how we depend on Cam Hayward to shut down the run. We kind of depend on him so our linebackers can run free. So now with him out, Patrick Peterson, he didn't play as bad as people make it seem like. Brandon Ayuk caught some crazy contested catch. It's NFL, it happens. And then he slipped on the first one. It's our other cornerback, Levi Wallace. He was getting sauce the entire game. He was getting sauce. And the problem is we kept taking all of our defensive linemen out and keep rotating our defensive linemen. So none of them could get chemistry at all. because we keep doing is just switching out defense linemen every single play. We ain't switching out our secondary. We went back and got our look back and got Joey Porter Jr. and bro played 4 snaps. What are we doing? What is this pitch count we're doing? Like, we had nothing that was cohesive, and there's a big reason why we got smoked like the way we did. We were just sporadically playing, and we deserved to get smacked.
My biggest issue with the game, and I watched the all 22 film as well, it wasn't so much that the Steelers lost. It wasn't even the fact that the Steelers got blown out, because I do think San Fran is that good. I have San Fran literally going to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Like, that's how good I think that team is. It's the fact that the Steelers, into some degree in the trenches, got beat down like that. That's even the linebackers playing against McCaffrey in the run game. It's like they were arm tackling, they wasn't hitting. That's not Steelers footballs. You know what I mean? That's not how the Steelers play football. The run game looks soft. The point of attack from now, granted, it's 9 carries, right? The point of attack from the offensive line looked soft. The defensive line, they did their thing, but at the same time, it's like when it's time to tackle, it's like arm tackle. That allows McCaffrey, who we know is strong, to spin out, hit the spin move up the sideline. He's gone for a touchdown. That's not Steeler football, man. We literally grew up watching. And I'm not even talking the steel curtain. I'm talking about in the 2000s. We grew up watching the Steelers play hard-hitting smash mouth football. Even when it became more flashy with the Killer Bees or Bell and Brown and Roethlisberger on defense, they were still making hits. You know what I mean? They were still hitting. That's what kind of upset me the most about that loss. But again, Pickett throwing the ball 46 times is just ridiculous. Even if he was a veteran, I used to say this all the time with Ben Roethlisberger. Throwing the ball 52 times, that's ridiculous. Steelers run the rock. Now, if you don't believe in Najee, I know he got banged up, but if you don't believe in him, figure it out. But you have to run the ball.
I don't care who you got running the ball. Run the ball, but you have to have a balance. In this league, you got to have a balance. Because if you get one-dimensional, even the Chiefs got a balance, for crying out loud. Like, they got the best quarterback in the league, and they got a balance to a certain extent.
Absolutely.
So I'm like, when you don't got a balance, you're screwed no matter what. And we absolutely deserve to get smacked like that. Absolutely. If you're going to have that bad of a game plan, you deserve to get smacked.
Word. Shout out to Zach Brady for checking out the show. I'm gonna get to your comment in 1 second. Also, big shout out to Devin Gramo. What's good, bro? All right. Zach said, "Oh God, I was singing Kenny's praises last week,
bro.
Utterly dominated in the trenches." Yeah, man. That's look. Certain teams just don't get beat up in the trenches. They may lose the battle, but they don't get beat up. Baltimore, San Fran, Philly, Pittsburgh. I could even say Cleveland. You know what I mean? Those teams, they don't get beat up in the trenches. They could lose everywhere else, but they don't get beat up in the trenches. And that's what we saw on Sunday.
And the one thing that hurt my defense is the one thing that I can give them any type of respect or anything. They played the whole game.
Yeah.
Until that 50 seconds left in the half, where we went on the drive and scored the touchdown on the one good throw Kenny had, because he threw a dart to get that in the end zone. Other than that, they played the entire game because we 3-and-outed. Right. We didn't have a drive over 9. We didn't have a drive over 5 minutes the entire game. That's embarrassing.
Right. We're gonna move on, but big shout out to San Francisco. All right. The next thing we're talking about, man, the offensive showdown in Los Angeles. The Dolphins beat the Chargers 36-34. Tua 466 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. He did throw a pick. Tyreke Hill 215 yards receiving. Herbert played well as well, although I questioned some of his decisions late in the game. But yo, man, Tua 466 yards passing. We know the Dolphins offense is electric. How good is Tua and how good is his team when healthy?
The hell kind of question is that? They're elite. They're a 4x1 track team. They got the fastest dudes in the league. All they do is run deep and they're gone. Right. Like, they're an incredible. They are probably going to win the AFC East. That injury to Aaron Rodgers alone probably gonna make them walk away with the AFC East. They got line. Look at the Bills last year. The Bills barely got by them and they were on their 3rd string quarterback. They barely snuck by them boys last. They are so fast. And the thing about them, they're so sneaky about them that's going to be even more scary for teams. Give it a couple weeks and Jalen Ramsey come back.
Yes.
So then they got, all right, you got Xavier Howard on one side. You got him on the other side. They got Jalen Phillips. They got Bradley Chubb. Bro, they have so many weapons, just nobody talks about them. That's why last week when I had them as my sleeper team because nobody was saying nothing because of the allure of the other teams.
Right.
The Dolphins are going to be scary because their roster and the way they game plan to get Tyreke Hill open is just as good. If you really think they get him open immediately. And the way they use his speed, honestly, I think the way they use his speed is better than how the Chiefs use him. Yes. Like, I think it shows how fine-tuned Tyreke Hill is as a receiver.
Absolutely.
And Jalen Waddle is a guy in himself.
He'll be the monster.
Again, nobody talks about. So I think they're going to be a team that eventually you're going to have to pay attention because the Chargers don't got a trash offense at all. And they just straight up outdueled them.
Yeah. So shout out to Matt Harris. He's like, it's more like how good is Hill, right? And first off, Tyreke Hill, what is there left to say? You know what I mean? We saw the dude take a 5-yard pass in the playoffs, turn into like a 80-yard touchdown to ice the game, right? Give the Chiefs the victory. Mm-hmm. But also, more importantly, the dude is uncoverable. There's nothing you could do with him. As long as he could keep the off-the-field stuff he had, throughout his career, he could put that away. I'm literally saying it's time for him, gold jacket. If you actually start to list out his resume, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's gold jacket worthy. It's Hall of Fame worthy. It's just now be consistent and keep all the off-the-field stuff he had, keep that away, and the dude is destined for the gold jacket. All right. So Tua is very good. I love how accurate he is. People saying he can't throw the deep ball, stop it. You know what I mean? Because he definitely can. I want to focus on something, though, and it's something that Matt Harris brought up. The Chargers defense. I'm ready to say this. I know it's week 2, Devontae, but this stems back. I'm not talking about the rookies and the players they added. I'm talking about the players they already had coming into the season, right? I'm ready to say this. The Chargers defense, and this goes back to last year, is probably the most overrated unit in the entire NFL. Because last year, what did we hear? Oh, Asante Samuel. I like him a lot. J.C. Jackson. To me, he's stealing money. He's stealing money. I'm not saying he has no stats. I'm not saying last year he did nothing. I know he was hurt. But the man was getting torched in and out regularly. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Regularly. This one hurts because it's my guy, Khalil Mack. I'm not saying he's washed up, but I feel like ever since he got paid in Vegas and then traded, something don't seem right. You know what I mean? Something don't seem right. He has not been the same. He had that monstrous game in Chicago against the Packers on that first Monday night. And since then, it's kind of been downhill. I don't know what's going on. And Joey Bosa, the dude eventually he's gonna have to play the run. You know what I mean? Joey Bosa literally on plays, if you watch him, he'll literally pause, wait, and then run down the line to try to get the tackle. But if you run at him, he's going to back up every time. And he's getting paid so much money. And then now even his pass rush moves have become stale. He only uses 3. He'll just speed by, he'll use a skate, or he'll try to spin inside. And he's getting paid all this money. Get your money. I'm not talking about he shouldn't get paid at all. But what I'm saying is the level of production since he's gotten paid has been non-existent. So much so, it's like Nick Bosa has not only surpassed him, he's lapped him 4 times over just as a pass rusher. You know what I mean? I don't understand. They have players on the defensive line. Their linebacking core is okay. Derwin James is another one. This dude's supposed to be the answer to Travis Kelce. He don't stop nobody, man. He's good against the run. I'll give him that. He'll come up and he'll make tackles. But other than that, you know what I mean? So to answer the exact question, Tua when healthy is really good. Tyreek Hill is gold jacket worthy. Let's get to the comments, man. Zach said Fangio is running that defense. Absolutely, man. Jordan Phillips had a game. I know he didn't always get to the quarterback until the very end, but that's how pass rushing works.
Yep.
You You just missed the quarterback. But what you're doing is you're wearing down the tackles. And then boom, when the game counted, 2 back-to-back sacks. Actually, technically it was 1.5, but the pressure on the quarterback at the end of the game, when it mattered, he got Herbert on the ground, man. Glenn Foreman was good. Popsy said the whole first week was full of very capable underachievers. Miami versus LA, a really great game, but also, again, where's the defense? Remember, every team looks good on paper. That's exactly how I feel about a lot of teams in the league right now. But I will say the Chargers defense has a lot of names on it. But I'm wondering, when are they going to start to put this together? Because the offense is nice, man. Herbert, like I said, sometimes the decision making between him and Josh Allen, I go back and forth on who's worse with it. But that defense, man, is horrible. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. Mary, it was good. Mary said, she's go Pats. All right, yeah, whatever. But I do like how the Pats played against Philly, though. I know they got out to a bad start.
I was impressed.
Literally, a one toe tap, a proper toe tap, and we're talking about they might have went and upset the NFC champs, you know? So I actually think the Pats is not going to be no pushover. I actually expect some big things from the Pats this year. Everett, E-Man was good for it. Oh, I knew the Niners fan was coming. Oh, my God. Yo, they look real. I picked them to go to Super Bowl, so I'm technically with you on the comment. But at the same, they look real, man. All phases of the game. Hufanga, the way he fly, bro, it's like the way that man literally, when they snapped the ball, he already across the field. You know what I mean? Like, Hufanga's a beast, man.
You remind me of Troy.
Absolutely, yeah. Which he's trained by Troy too.
Yep.
So, and you can see it because the anticipation he has. That's why I hate it when I think it was Drew Brees who was saying it was guessing. It's not guessing, it's anticipation.
Absolutely.
There is a difference.
It's a lot of film.
Right. Zach said Philly played awful, lucky to win. They bring that shit against a better team. They're getting smacked. This is what I mean with week 1, right? Some teams who we think are going to be good didn't play so well, right? Hell, Cleveland, we'll get to it very soon, but Cleveland and Cincinnati both look really bad. You know what I mean? But it's week 1. They played a rainstorm. We'll kind of see how it plays out from here. All right. Now we're gonna get into some quick takes. Ready, Devontae?
Let's rock.
All right.
Let's rock.
Quick takes. Starting out, obviously, Saints and Raiders. I'm not gonna say they swapped quarterbacks, as Jimmy G technically was on San Francisco, but a lot of people say they made lateral moves, right? Got rid of Carr, went to the Saints. You brought in Garoppolo. They're kind of the same guy, right? Both won 1-point games. Saints obviously beat the Titans in a sloppy game where Carr threw a pick. That was horrible. Ryan Tannehill literally threw 3 picks. Raiders squeeze out a close one against Denver. Who looked better to you, Carr in the Saints or Garoppolo in the Raiders?
Oh God. I think if I was forced to pick, I think I would go Derek Carr because I think I'll go Derek Carr in the Saints because I expected it to be a kind of dogfight, slow kind of game like that, and I just want to see who would grit it out. Like Derek Carr showed more grit than anything. Like if you ever look at Derek Carr's game, it's all about like toughness and like shaking off stuff. Like he's gonna throw an interception here or there, but like he'll always come back. Like he'll always come back and fight to win the game. I think I kind of expected you guys to beat the Broncos because like I'm not this big Bronco supporter like that.
7 straight now.
Yeah, like I'm not surprised you guys didn't beat the Broncos, even though Russell Wilson did play a little bit better.
He did play better.
He did play better. I just like the Broncos defense is kind of garbage because they got rid of everybody. So like I'm not really like that gung ho on either, but like I think the Saints have the better day.
So I will go with Garoppolo just to keep this quick, only because when the game was on tight, yes, Carr made a huge throw to ice that game. Garoppolo did it with his legs, and that's what I wanted to see. All right, the next quick take, man. J.K. Dobbins also tore his Achilles, out for the year. Ravens beat Houston 25-9. I thought the Ravens offense played sloppy, but it was their first game with some new parts. J.K. Dobbins is out, though, man. Out for the year. How bad? Talking about Rodgers and feeling bad, you know what I mean? How does this affect the Ravens going forward with their offense?
They don't have the home run hitter. Like J.K. Dobbins is a home run hitter with like power and breakaway speed. So they don't have the breakaway speed part. So which sucks because that means Lamar's gonna have to do a little bit more.
Yep.
But they've always been, if you know the Ravens in the AFC North, we're all a part of the running back by committee. So
Yep.
where it's like we don't carry just one, we carry like five of the same guys who just do different things. So with that being said, I think the Ravens, if the Ravens run their offense through Lamar and their new rookie Zay Flowers, who is absolutely disgusting, they'll be just fine.
Yeah, man. I thought the Ravens looked decent. Obviously, the offense got out to a slow start. I do think the Texans can play some defense, though. So it's not all just bad Ravens. As for Dobbins, I feel for him, man. The ACL now the Achilles, I absolutely feel bad for him. Ravens, I think maybe we should try to take a call for Jonathan Taylor. I know Indy's hell-bent on not letting him go, but hey, you won't. The answer is no unless you try, right? And you still might get a no, but who knows? All right,
Keep him out my division.
You're right. The last quick take, and then we'll get to the comments, yo. Speaking of your division, Cincinnati, Burrow and Watson played horrible in a torrential rainstorm. Are you concerned, or is it the weather? Are you saying week one, a mix of all of it? Are you concerned how they both look? Burrow literally threw for under 100 yards.
I'm not concerned for either one. I think Deshaun Watson is still trying to get his feet wet back in the missing a whole year and then 8 weeks of a year is a hell of a long time to miss.
Right.
So I feel like he's still trying to get back and situated and accustomed to whatever the Browns want to do. So, but Burrow, no. Why? Because I thought they was gonna be I thought they were gonna fall off last year. And they went back to the AFC Championship. So the fact that they're like he played like absolute hot basura last year, but just nobody. He threw 5 interceptions last year, and then next you blink, he was back in the AFC Championship. Joe is just like that.
So I'm not worried about either one of them. I think the rainstorm actually did, because it was not only rainy, it was windy too. So some of the passes legit just was not getting there. But also Burrow, one thing I am worried about is his health. Because all the hits he's taking, it's like every year he walks into it with something. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Now, granted, the last 2 they paid off. He's took into a deep playoff run, even a Super Bowl. But them hits are starting. As for Watson, I think it's just more about getting back into the swing of things. So this is actually to me, it's his first real year in 3 years now. All right, let's get to these comments. So starting out, Glenn Foreman said, "I'll take Derek Carr over Garoppolo." I've always been. To me, they kind of are the same guy, right? I prefer Derek only because I've seen him with the late game. You know what I mean? I feel like sometimes Garoppolo gets out to a better start than Carr, but I like the way Carr finishes games better. So I'd probably rock with him, but it's close. Watching both games, I'm like, I could kind of see how they're kind of the same guy. Ever said Jimmy G's a winner. That's the thing. His resume is nice, and there's 2 separate locations. Let's see if he can make it 3. He also said Ravens brought up Melvin Gordon. Oh, God, off the practice squad. Hopefully his career has a resurgence now. I like Melvin Gordon a lot. I always root for him. Even when he was in Denver last year. He's playing the Raiders. I'm like, yeah. But bro, it's the fumbling. It's the fumbling, bro. To me, the Cardinals sin in football is fumbling. Like, stop fumbling the damn ball. When Marvin Jones against the Chiefs, when he fumbled, I was like, get him off the team. I know he's a veteran, but get him off the team. Like, I have no tolerance for fumbling, man. All right. Matt Harris said Snow Burrow will be back to his old self. He got ice in his veins. Like, Joe Burrow is a killer. So, like, I do think, and kind of look like one too, but I do think that he will get back to playing well. I just worry about the hits after year, because he's only in the, 3rd year? 4th year. It's 4th year, yeah. And he just got a new contract. And lately, some of those guys with the new money, they haven't been playing too well. So, we'll keep an eye on that. All right, Devontae. Next thing we get into the beatdown that took place in MetLife, and I ain't talking about the Achilles. Cowboys absolutely smoked. They smoked the New York Giants 40-0, man. The Cowboys scored a touchdown in all 3 phases: defense, special teams, and offense. Devontae, I'm going to ask you this, man. You more impressed with the Cowboys, or were you more disappointed in the Giants?
We're gonna say go skip straight to it. We're gonna be we're 100%, 1,000%, 1,000,000% more disappointed in the Giants, and This is the same thing I've been talking about with the Giants. I tried, okay? I tried to give you guys a chance. I really tried. I thought that maybe they can get it done. I tried to believe in Giants fans, their qualms about Daniel Jones. But I was wrong. I knew I should have went with my gut. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it then. Okay. So in 2021, Jason, in 2021, Daniel Jones entered the league.
Yep.
2021.
Yep.
You want to know? No, excuse me, not in 2021. Daniel Jones was already picked, but let's just be real. They were already trash. Okay, they were already trash.
What's good, bro? Go ahead.
We all knew what they was on. In 2021, right? They could have easily got so many great players I believe at the 11th pick. And you know who was one of those players they could have got, Jason? They could have got Michael Parsons.
Yeah, right. I remember that. We watched that draft together.
And they traded back. They traded back. And I remember watching that game, watching that draft, and telling you the person they should have took was Justin Fields.
Yep. You did say that.
Was Justin Fields. And everybody was like, no, we just got Daniel Jones. What does he do that's that better than Justin Fields? And honestly, he's just only difference between him and Justin Fields is that he's in a better situation because the Chicago Bears had Matt Nagy as a coach, who was the hot basura, probably sitting next to Jeff Fisher as one of the worst coaches of all time. They traded all the defense away, Khalil Mack, Roquan Smith, like Kyle Fuller, like they traded away all the defense on him. Then they gave him no receivers. The only receiver when Chase Claypool is your number one receiver. Come on, cut it out. Like they gave all his weapons away, and he still showed promise last year. Besides running the ball, what does Daniel Jones do? They literally forced him to throw the ball. And then they stopped running the ball after their one successful drive was the first drive before the block kick. Why? And guess why that happened? Because they ran the ball. They ran the football. And after that, after they blocked the kick and ran that back for the touchdown, they wanted to sit back and drop back.
Right. Well, luckily for Daniel Jones in terms of contract, he had his best game in the playoffs, right? So lucky for him against the Vikings. I'm going to say more impressed with the Cowboys only because of what the defense did, right? So I'm not saying the Giants offensive line is world beaters because they're not, right? But part of the problem is, and I can maybe say this is partially an issue I have with the Giants too, Dallas defense lived in the backfield, but we know they can pass rush. We know they're very fast, right? We know that. They were taking Saquon off his feet. They were taking Barkley off his feet. He's a monster. Like the way he's built, you know what I mean? Like I've seen like the numbers of like what he lifts and stuff and how he lifts. He works out the right way. They were taking him off his feet. Now, do I have my gripes with Dallas's defense? Yes. Trayvon Diggs is very talented. Do I actually believe him as a corner? No. But that's why they went out and got Stephon Gilmore. He's really the number one corner. You know what I mean? He's really the better corner. Diggs just gets a lot of picks because he was trained as a receiver, right? Micah Parsons. What I saw on Sunday night, I was more impressed with him probably in that game than I've ever been with him, only because he literally attempted to play the run when they ran towards him. He's always been great at chasing down the ball carrier from the backside, right? But the way that he would take inside shoulder and take on the tight end, take on the tackle, take on the pulling guard to bottle up the run, now Dallas's defense can get even better with that. Mozzie Smith, I thought he played all right. It's his first game. I'll let it go, right? DeMarcus Lawrence, we know what we're going to get with him. And I'm not saying the Giants' offensive line in their run game is the best in the league. But what I am saying is I've seen them take steps on that Dallas's defense that can actually take them places. Now, here's the problem. Because remember, it was me who picked Dallas to go to the NFC Championship. So I got the good out the way. Micah Parsons is taking on the big boys, guards, tackles, and tight ends, right? That's what I like to see. I thought Dak Prescott played horrible. Not okay. Now, I thought that offense looked horrible. Yes, it's week one. I've been saying that the entire show. So I'm not saying they're going to be trashed the entire. I do not believe in Mike McCarthy calling plays. I think Dak Prescott is. You could throw him with Derek Carr, Garoppolo, whoever you want to throw him with. You know what I mean? Like he's in that class. He's all right. I do not believe in Tony Pollard as a starting running back. He's a great spell back. I don't believe him as a starting running back. CD Lamb as the number one receiver, okay, but he's gonna have to he needs a great 2 and 3 to go with him. You know what I mean? Turpin, okay, he's the speedster. The offense, I think the offense, for example, they play the Jets this week with Zach Wilson. I now can see Dallas winning that game, but it's gonna be like 10-7. You see what I'm saying? It's gonna be 10-7. I can see them picking off Zach Wilson or getting a strip fumble to go kick a field goal. Their offense is like, it's a step above horrible. It's a step above horrible. That's how I feel about Dallas. I think their defense is great. Is it number one in the league? No, I think that's going to be San Fran. I think it's going to end up being top 3. That was my projection for the defense. But the offense, I think, is going to be middle of pack towards the bottom. I don't think the offense is good, and I think that's what's going to hurt them.
I'll be shocked if the Cowboys defense is top 10. But I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. You wanna know why? You wanna know why the Cowboys defense look like that, like that strong and all that? Who did they have to guard on the perimeter?
Giants got some speedsters. I'm not saying they're Devontae Adams with like route running and catching, but they got speed.
Jalen Hyatt, it was his very first game.
Okay.
Very first game, rookie, unproven. No offense, Darren Waller has talent.
Yep.
Also hurt. But let's be real here. Are you really that worried about you? You really think your tight end is going as a wideout is going to kill you all game? Nobody expects that. Your tight end always has to be paired with a great receiver to be elite. Besides, unless you're Rob Gronkowski. Let's keep it a stat.
Yep.
Okay. After that, you know who the other receivers they got, Jay? Darius Slayton.
Yeah. Okay.
Isaiah Hodgins.
Okay.
Paris Campbell.
Okay.
They easily getting clamped up. So that's what I'm saying is when it's a lot easier for Mike Parsons and them to look nice during the run when you know damn well that's all you got to worry about. Right. Now, more importantly, we're gonna see what the Cowboys defense really look like this week, even with Garrett Wilson. I don't believe Mike Parsons can stop the run. Let me see him try to stop the run again against a Dalvin Cook, against a Breece Hall, with a Jets offensive line that actually dominates in running the ball. I don't see it in any of them. Why? Because besides Michael Parsons, who pass rushes, and Dexter Lawrence, who also not known for stopping the run like that either.
Right.
Who else do they got? Like, who they linebackers? Leighton Vander Esch?
Okay.
I don't see it.
Okay.
I just don't see it.
To be fair, I'm going to run down the first half of the schedule, right? Tell me when you feel, and you can only play who's in front of you.
Of course.
Tell me where you find the offensive juggernaut that they're going to play. Besides the October 8th game, which I'll get to. Ready? They just beat the Giants. They now have the Jets without Aaron Rodgers. It is now Zach Wilson playing, at least for this game. Okay. After that, they have the Arizona Cardinals.
Okay.
After that, they have New England, who looked pretty good against Philly, but we'll see about the offense, right? Then we have the October 8th game, the big showdown at San Francisco. Okay, now we're talking, right?
Getting cooked.
Now we're talking. After that, they face the Chargers. That's a good offense. We'll see. And then they play the Rams, who did look good against Seattle, but still
need to see any proof.
Right. Okay. And then after that, we have a big showdown against Philly, and then it's back to the Giants. And then I'll stop right there because the next games are the Panthers and the Commanders. So after that, I think you'll say maybe they'll lose to the Niners. Let's say they lose to the Chargers and they lose to Philly in that first game, right? That's 3 losses.
It's because they got an easy ass schedule.
So against a lot of
I know what
offenses, right? So I think again they're going to be top 3. You know what I mean? And then we'll see how that shakes out in the playoffs. But their talent is there on defense, man. Like I'm not gonna you know me. I look at certain teams as only defense, and I literally break down the defense. The talent is there. I'm not saying if San Francisco, do not put that on me. Maybe even New Orleans, because their defense is really good. Their secondary might be the best in the league. They give a serious running to San Fran. But
you wanna know what their defense sounds like to me? You remember when in 2020 when my Steelers went 11-0 and you kept asking me how I feel about the Steelers being 11-0, and I was like, it's the most faux pas 11-0
Right.
ever because we was winning games we shouldn't clearly be winning. Remember
Right.
how last year how Kirk Cousins and them was winning games that clearly
Right.
shouldn't be winning? That's exact. I'm gonna put that defense in the same exact category.
They lead the league in turnovers the last 3 years in takeaways.
I'm gonna put that defense in the same category.
That's a real stat.
True. You're right.
Take away the ball. Now that's what I'm worried about the offense. But if you take away the ball enough, that's why they.
It ain't look like that against the A. It don't look. It ain't gonna look. It don't look like that when it matters.
So we'll see.
It never does. It never does.
Let's get to these comments. All right. Pop said, Burrow not playing in the preseason hurt us. Again, last year we lost the first 2, then won 6 straight, but it's not a switch you could turn on and off. The offensive line can't protect Funky or Winky. What the hell? This time we spent some money, yet the same result. Burrow can be a killer, consistently getting all. Yep. So I agree. The Bengals seem to play around a lot and with the beginning of the year, and this year I don't think they can. Zach said, dear God, that was rough to watch. It really was. Like, it literally looked like, I'm not about to disrespect the Giants players, but it literally looked like it was 2 different leagues playing. Speed alone. Levante said it was a shellacking, but Dak will let the Cowboys down at some point.
Facts.
Jones was facing pressure 67% of the time and had 6 good pockets the entire game. This is what I mean about Dallas's defense. Real quick. It's not that they get sacks or forced fumbles. I'm not like, put that to the side for a second. The thing I like the most about their pass rush, they actually rush in their passing lanes. You know what I mean? They're and I take that and I attribute it all to Dan Quinn, because Seattle was the same way. Atlanta was the same way when they went to the Super Bowl. They rushed the right way. You know what I mean? That's what I like the most about them. Zach said, also, that was kind of a Murphy's Law game for the Giants. Everything went wrong. I thought the Giants ran the ball well the opening drive. And then it went downhill from there.
And they stopped running the ball.
Literally. They opened up a great game. They opened up great in that game, then completely fell off. Look, the offense, again, it's worried. I think if their offense not matched the defense, because most teams you even have one or the other that's better, right? If they can Dallas can score 28 points a game, which in the modern NFL, that's close to the middle of the pack, technically, right? If they can score 28 points a game, they're gonna win more than 12 games, because that's what they won the last 2 years.
You look at Daniel Jones' performance. You telling me you pay Daniel Jones before you pay Saquon?
No.
Okay.
Justin Fields is trash, Levante said.
If Justin Fields is trash, what was that? What do you then? Who on your team?
Said more disappointed in the Giants. The Cowboys are not scary at all. They are very fast, but not very powerful as usual. Overrated. Danny Dimes is nothing but 10 old ass pennies. Okay,
bro. They only took him because he looked like Eli Manning. I will die on that hill. All
right, Devontae, let's get to the next game. Your boy, Packers defeated the Bears 38-20. Mike Green, if you're still with us, here's your game. 38-20. Jordan Love, the successor to Aaron Rodgers, 15 for 27, 245 yards, 3 touchdowns. Justin Fields, 37 attempts, 216 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 pick. Were you impressed with Jordan Love? Obviously, the storyline, Packers shouldn't have drafted him. It set Rodgers off the wrong way. Obviously, Rodgers gets shipped out. Now with the Jordan Love era has begun. Are you impressed with his game, or do you think the Bears secondary, their defense is bad? What do you think about Jordan Love after that one game?
All right. Well, first off, for starters, the Bears defense is hot pursuer. I would be the first person to tell you that. But I was very impressed with Jordan Love because I liked him more when he threw under pressure. Right. I liked when like the Bears made some stops and it was like 3rd and 7 to see what do you do with the situation. Like I saw some good pocket presence. For sure, that impressed me a lot. Where I was like, okay, he played a really good game. The only thing about this game that obviously made it easier for him was that if you look at the Packers offensive line, they was blowing the Bears off the ball. That's true. Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon and them boys had all day to run.
Yep.
They had all day to run. So I think the Bears offense just mollywopped him, to be honest.
Right.
But I think, the way, I don't think he had a really terrible throw. I think he played really well.
Yeah. He made some throws that, again, I'm not ready to say Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre type throws because that'd be too on the nose, right? But he made some throws. It's not even a throw because he's always had an arm. The reads he made was what impressed me. You know what I mean? Like, for example, we saw Zach Wilson last night literally get the ball, 3-step hitch, look at the receiver the entire way, and they say, hey, what the hell? And threw it anyway, right into the hands of Matt Milano, right? Jordan Love was literally able to move defenders with his eyes and then throw back the other way, on target, on time. You know what I mean? That's what I always look for with young quarterbacks. I know Zach Wilson has an arm. We've seen him make that infamous throw he did at his pro day, right? Mm-hmm. But it's like, what can you do when there's a live defense there who's moving, ready to disguise you? You see what I'm saying?
Amen.
That's what he did the best. That's why I was very impressed. I thought he had the second best day of the entire week one of all the quarterbacks except for Tua. 466 is, come on, man. But I thought he had the second best day of all the QBs in the league behind Tua. If he can keep this up, it's gonna. But the thing with him is, I do believe they play San Fran this year. You know what I mean? I think they play Dallas late in the year. I know they play New Orleans, so they play some defenses. You know what I mean? That are going to be lights out. That's what I'm. Obviously, I want to see what they do with that. If he can handle those tests, I'm not too sure anymore about my Detroit pick because the Packers, we've always said they had other stuff to go with it, right? Yeah. It's just, I think Rodgers ran his course there. He had to get out. That's fine. But I was very impressed with the way Love looked. Let's get to these comments. Levante said, a bad game, Fields will be out the league in 2 years. All right, bro. That's overboard now. You don't have to like him, but that's that's crazy. Like, Zach said, wow, Love made some throws that had like, again, for me, throws are cool. I think a lot of guys in the league can make throws, but it's like, but part of it is the reads. You know what I mean?
A lot of tight windows.
Boom, right on time. That's what I like. Him and Dobbs look like a great connection. Absolutely. It looked like they actually, had an off season together. You know what I mean? OTAs, mini camp. You know what I mean? The stuff you're supposed to do, the stuff that Rodgers did with the Jets. You know what I mean? So, I agree. They're gonna look good. I will not tolerate any more Daniel Jones slander.
You need to. You need to tolerate a lot more. You need to tolerate a lot more.
Right.
Like, come on, bro. Like, come on. Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead.
Matt Harris, he said, I think Fields needs a lot to succeed where the Bears gave up so much throughout the past 4 to 5 years. The Packers gave up Rodgers and Adams. Love got a stronger team around him to succeed. Absolutely. The Packers run game looked incredible. Absolutely incredible. The defense obviously played very, very well. They had Justin Fields fooled a few times. He should have threw more than one pick. But like DBs notoriously drop the ball. You know what I mean? Or they probably be receivers. But absolutely agree. Levante said when he starts eating, keep the same hate. It's the same level of love. Okay. All right.
I gladly will.
Bob said, Love was impressive and will do well. It's her learning process. The kid is young. Give him a chance. Absolutely. He literally sat the bench like Rodgers did behind Favre. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And we got to see Rodgers was a racial talent. It's a lot to live up. Packers have had good QBs for 35 years, damn near. You know what I mean? So, like, it's a lot to live up to, but great start so far. And shout out to LaFleur because he got him ready to play. Matt Harris said he picked New Orleans defense in fantasy because they play maybe 2 to 3 decent QBs this year. That is true. That is why I picked New Orleans to go to make a run all the way to the NFC Championship. Because not only do I think now if Carr can get the offense right, they have a lot of cupcake games on the schedule. And by cupcake, I'm not saying the teams are trash. What I'm saying is their offense ain't going to put up enough points on that defense. You see what I'm saying? That's why I picked them to make a deep playoff run. Levante said, Bears will not be good as long as Fields is the QB in the same boat as Wilson.
And where's Daniel Jones? Where is Daniel Jones at on this boat?
All right, so
you get Daniel Jones at 5 below. I'm sorry.
So I'm sensing a theme for the year. Justin Fields versus Daniel Jones.
You damn right. I'm like, explain.
All right. One more thing, then we'll get out of here. As always, appreciate the love and support. We're back next Tuesday at 7:05. Facebook, YouTube. You know where to find us. There will be a Facebook page coming. The video will be there. Obviously, you guys can leave your comments, and we'll create brackets and stuff, all types of dope stuff. All right, Devontae, you ready? Let's get to these games to watch, man.
Let's rock.
So you picked the Ravens and Bengals. Why is that a game for you to watch?
Because it's going to be pretty much, honestly, in my opinion, it's probably going to be whoever wins this game probably going to end up in first place.
Okay.
In our division. This game is always tough. They always split pretty much down the middle. And I think if the Ravens win in Cincinnati, it's a big ass deal.
Absolutely.
That it's gonna make it'll make the Bengals season a lot tougher.
Absolutely.
If they lose this game, it's a make or break game for them.
So since I also picked that game, I'll chime in. 2 divisional losses is bad to start the year. Two divisional losses is bad. Cincinnati needs this game. They need this game. I know they went 0-2 last year, but they had 1 division loss against Pittsburgh, and then they lost to Dallas. Mm-hmm. That's different than losing to 2 division rivals who looks like all 4 teams are going to be in the mix towards the end of the year. So you might want to win these games. Of all the games you got to take care of your division first. As for the Ravens side, I think it's kind of the same thing. I think it's very important for Baltimore to they beat the Texans, but they got to start winning division games too. Because again, I picked this entire division to split. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's it's very important if you can get a sweep in, it's very important. All right. So you also had the Seahawks. You had the Seahawks at the Lions.
This is what I call the wild card buster. Because I feel like if somebody picks the Packers or something like that over the Lions, I think the Lions easily will get a wild card spot.
Yep.
But I think it's like this is what I call the seeding game that's going to come back and screw you over when we get throughout the year and maybe say the Seahawks are a 500 team that are just right on the cusp of making the playoffs, or you feel like the Lions are in the same place. I feel like this is going to be the game that goes, oh, well, because you lost this game, now you need this team to beat that team, this team to beat that team, and that team this team to tie. And that's what's going to screw the Seahawks. This game could probably, if the Seahawks lose this game, this game probably could end up screwing the Seahawks out of the playoffs later down the field, in the future.
So I completely agree with that. I went with the Chiefs at the Jaguars because I think obviously it's a matchup. It's a rematch of the divisional round. Although I don't like how close the game was with Indy, and shout out to Anthony Richardson, but at the same time, I think it's very important that Calvin Ridley and Lawrence, they look good together. You know what I mean? They look like they in sync. And the reason I say this, I know Chris Jones will be back. I know Kelsey more than likely will be back. We'll keep an eye on that. The Chiefs don't want to go down 0-2 either. You know what I mean? Because it's always gone through Kansas City. Besides that one year when it went through Buffalo. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Chiefs don't want to fall down 0-2 either, because Jacksonville, I watched that game. They are a strong team, and they can do some things to Kansas City defensively that some teams can't. Josh Allen, not the one who throws three picks on a Monday night game. I'm talking about the defensive end, Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
He might be the best Josh Allen in the league right now. Talking about that dude is nice. And I think he's just getting started because some of his pass rush moves seem like he don't quite. Once he start going to Von Miller's camp with Crosby, you know what I mean? With Crosby and Aaron Donald goes there and TJ Watt goes there. A lot of these guys go there. He gonna be a problem. Be on the lookout the next few years for Josh Allen in Jacksonville, the defensive end. He's gonna be a problem. That's why I want to see that game. I think the Chiefs need the game. I think they absolutely need the game. Shout out to Jacksonville too, because I think Jacksonville, I'm not convinced that they'll be the 4th seed as a division winner. They could be a 3rd, 2, or even a 1. All right, your last game you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield and the crew going against the Chicago Bears.
I picked this game because the Buccaneers actually played very well last week, and it actually threw everybody off. Baker Mayfield played really good. I was actually surprised. I was like, oh, damn. And I picked the Bears because this game is another pivotal game. I think this game is going to be a pivotal game, but for the bottom tier of the league. And I think it's going to be a very good game. I picked this game basically off the strength of what the Bears and Vikings was. What the Buccaneers and the Vikings was last week. It's a really good game that nobody talked about. That was a really good game that nobody talked about. because it wasn't as high scoring and nobody gave the Buccaneers a chance. Now, just like a certain somebody in the comments, nobody's giving Justin Fields a chance and nobody gives Baker Mayfield a chance because it's not a progressive commercial. So
something God has to give.
Exactly.
I'm not mad at that. And look, Baker Mayfield, he did his thing. They beat the Vikings. I'm not saying the Vikings are the world beaters, but he did play pretty well in that game. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So my last game is Jets at Cowboys, and I actually picked that game after Rodgers went out. And once he got hurt, I knew I thought it might have been his meniscus or his ACL. I didn't know he tore his Achilles. Either way, I knew he was done for the season. You know what I mean? Once you get in that walking boot and you had to get carted off, you're done for the year, right?
Yep.
I think this game is huge for two reasons. If the Jets could start out 2-0, despite everything that happened, and Zach Wilson, who has been under Rodgers' leadership, if he could start getting going confident, I think for a lot of these teams, Jets going to have to score 20 points. They'll beat a lot of teams with just 20 points because I think the defense is that good. You know what I mean? So if he could start to make some throws, hit Garrett Wilson, you know what I mean? Because we know he can make the spectacular catch. Start to use Randall Cobb, Breece Hall at the backfield, Dalvin Cook at the backfield, Lazard. I think that Jets team could be good. On the flip side, that's going to tell me everything I need to know about the Cowboys. I know they're going to put Zach Wilson on the ground. They may even get a fumble or a pick. I want to see what Dallas can do against a real defense like New York. CeeDee Lamb ain't going beast. He ain't going beast mode like he likes to say. He ain't going beast mode on Sauce, and he ain't going beast mode on Reader either. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I can't wait to see what that defense does against the running. I know the Jets offensive line ain't that great. I do like the way they run block, though. That's why I picked that game. All right, let's get to these comments, then we'll get out of here. As always, we'll be back next Tuesday, 7:05, Facebook, YouTube. Be on the lookout for the Facebook page. I will send out invites so that way kind of become more of a group. Post your memes, talk your shit between Daniel Jones and Justin Fields, Dallas and the Philly, Dallas and the Giants, Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, Cleveland. As long as y'all all show love to the Raiders, it's all good. Let's get to the comments. We want to know first in the AFC West, baby. Porn star Jimmy. We all in the brothels. Pop said it's a must win for Cincy. Absolutely. Going down 0-2 in your division is not a good thing. Levante said if Daniel Jones is great value, Eli, then Fields is a Dollar Tree Michael Vick. Yikes. Hostility today. Man said more like a Five Below Donovan McNabb. Like
all right.
Side note from Matthew Harris. The Miami Dolphins are going down this week. Obviously, they play New England. That's going to be a good game. I picked Miami to win the division before Rodgers got hurt and before Josh Allen threw 3 picks. Now I feel even better about that. Bob said, stop. Baker had his chances and blew it, and we'll blow this one as well because he's just not that good. Jets will beat Dallas.
I hope you're right.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. Appreciate the love and support. We will be back next week as always. I'm JB, the host. Devontae, let them know where they can find you.
Devontae forever on everything. If you want more Steelers content, want me to go more in depth about my team, I'm losing my mind. You can follow me on YouTube at Devontae forever. I will be in the stadium on Monday Night Football.
Shout out to you, man.
Next week, I'll be in the stadium, probably cursing Mike Tomlin out for something. So let's see.
Absolutely.
How this goes.
If you don't know, Philadelphia plays. I believe it's who do they play? Hold on. Let me bring it back the banner real quick. Philadelphia plays the Vikings on Thursday night. Sunday night will be Miami and New England. And of course, there's 2 Monday nights games this week. Saints at Panthers will start at 7:15. And Monday night, obviously, Cleveland against Pittsburgh, which Devontae will be at. Shout out to y'all. We'll catch you next week. Gridiron Podcast. We out. Peace.